Guys, welcome back. I'll try and do this quick video just to show some of these cards that I just got back in a CGC submission that just got dropped off to me yesterday. I've never seen a submission come back with as many 10s from CGC, so I'm really happy. So on the left I've got these two cards that are perfect 10s. I've got 7 pristine 10s, and the rest here, I can't remember exactly how many there are. It was like a 30 odd card submission, so this is all 9.5s, and then there's only 5 9s, so quite a high hitting subscription return. So I pre-graded these quite hard, so I'm happy that the work that I've put in has got me good results. I think some of them might be a little bit generous, if I'm honest, but I'm not complaining. I don't care. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the 9s first. We'll do the 9.5s and then the 2 piles of 10s. I'm sorry in advance if I sound a little bit bunged up. I got my second COVID vaccine at the weekend, and I had been feeling really good until I woke up this morning, and I feel like I'm maybe starting to get a cold or something. So if I sneeze or anything like that, I'm sorry in advance. Similarly, if it starts getting interference, or if I start speaking a second language partway through it, that might be a side effect of the vaccine, I apologise for that also. The first card I got back is a CP5 Mew. Scored a 9 on this one, which I can totally see. To be honest, I've got another 3 I think in here that I sent away, and I was expecting pretty similar 9 grades, just because most of them, I don't know if you can see it, like there's this, they all came with these little white nicks on the top, and I pre-graded them. I knew they were there, but I wanted the card, and I just wanted the card slabbed up, so I was only expecting 9s, but they've all came back pretty well. So I've got 1 9, and I think the other one's in the 9.5 bundle. Not to spoil things, I've got this Alolan Raichu from GG End, which is one of the alternate arts. Get hammered on the centre for it. It got brought down to a 9, which is fair enough. They usually tend to be pretty bad, these alt art cards. I don't really think it's that bad. Yeah, I don't know. Actually looking at that on a second take, I don't think it's quite warrants coming down to a 9 just when you see some of the other centre and subgrades I've got, but it is what it is. I'm not going to complain too much about this sub. The next sub that's coming back later in the week I'll complain about. I'll probably take you through that one, but that one's baffled me a little bit, but that's for a different video. We got this card that came back, again, really strong subgrades. It's got 3 10s in there. It was just the centre that brought it down. This one, you can see why the centres come down, like it's getting the border on the right compared to the left is thick and thin. Kind of similar top and bottom, although not as bad. But yeah, nice subgrades on that card. That's one thing that I'm pretty happy with as well, that even the cards that come back 9s or 9.5s, I've got a lot of 10 subgrades. Again, I think it's just because of how hard I pre-graded these that I had, at the time, I had like, I don't know, 140 cards to go through, and I ended up only submitting like 30, so yeah, I did grade them quite hard. This is the favourite card from the whole submission, so I actually paid over the odds for this card in Japan, but to be honest I didn't care. They come up in mint condition so rarely just now. I think I had been looking for a couple of months and I hadn't really seen anything that I wanted to jump on. So again, this got a 9 for centering. Personally, I think it's a little bit harsh. I know that you can see it's maybe this border on the right, and then I wouldn't even say the top, probably the right hand side is the one that's off against the 3 other ones. But the surface, yeah, I can fully understand the surface. It's got there's a very faint print line somewhere on the back. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to show you it. I think it was along here from memory, but it's so faint. But there's another card that I'll show you later on that's got a very obvious print line that scored a 10. It got a 9.5 for subgrade, so there must have been something else on the surface. I can't actually remember, but no complaints. It's got a 9 grade. I'm really happy with it. That's kind of what I was expecting, to be honest. I just thought it would maybe have been docked more for the edges of the corners, because I think there was some whitening on 1 or 2 of the corners. But anyway, I'm not going to complain too much about it. So first card from the 9.5 pile is a Piplup, which is from the Dream League. So Dream League's get this little mini set, kind of call it a mini set with the character rares. I would like to try and get all of these in a 9.5 or above. So that's going to be one of my goals. I've got a binder page full of them, and I've also added in one of the, I can't remember the number for the promo, I think it's maybe 381 from the Sun and Moon promo, with Clefairy on it. Is it Clefairy? I forgot now. Again, my mind's totally blank. I've just woke up this morning, just not really feeling that great and a little bit foggy, so apologies. But yeah, nice looking card. Again, the things that I look at strongest when I'm pre-grading is the corners and the edges. It's another one that's came back with a 10 subgrade, so pretty happy about that. Get this one as well. Again, really strong 210 subgrades. It's just the centre and the corners that brought it back down a little bit. So yeah, this has kind of gave me a little bit of confirmation that how I'm pre-grading cards is obviously working, because I have got so many 10, well, I've got a lot of 10s, I think, near enough 30% of the submission is 10 grades, but I've even in the 9.5s and the 9s, I've got a lot of 10 subgrades, which I'm really happy about. So it's showing me that what I'm doing is right. So this one, I can't remember where I'd seen the edge where, I think it was just along this top border. But that's the kind of stuff that you're getting docked with CGC for. It brings it down half a grade, so they are really harsh. But that's, people know that's what you're submitting to. I've got two of these actually, so the next one as well. So again, both exact same subgrades, 9.5 centre and surface, and then 10 on the corners and the edges. Again, as I said, the corners and the edges is what I look at quite hard whenever I'm going to submit something. So not to say I don't look at the surface, I look at the surface as well, but I do put a lot of attention into the corners and the edges. This one, like the card, unfortunately I think because of the subgrades I'm probably going to sell this one, and I'll try and pick up another couple from Japan, and I'll try and regrade one and hope to get a 9.5 with better centering, maybe even a 10 if I'm lucky. But yeah, it's a nice looking card. So this is one of the other CP5 cards that I put in. Again, 310 subgrades, it was just the edges that brought it down, which I totally understand, because on all of the CP5 cards that I've bought, they all had it. Like, you can see it along here. So there's one, two, three, four, maybe 5 little tiny white nicks just along that top edge. Don't think it had anything anywhere else, not that I can remember, to be honest. I just remember that they all of the CP5 cards had little white nicks along the top edge. So yeah, really happy with that one. I think I'm going to keep that, and I'm also going to keep one of these. Yeah, I'm going to keep one of these. Not decided what one yet, because I've got a little bit of an assortment in subgrades. So I've got this one on the left that got all 9.5s and then a 10 for surface. I've got this one that got the 2 10s, and then this one that got same as the first one. So yeah, not quite sure what one I'm going to keep, but yeah, I'll weigh it up, and then the other 3 will be going up for sale on my eBay. We'll probably have to drip feed them, because I don't think they'll sell very quick. But anyway, so I've got a Shining Legends Rayquaza. Again, nice strong subgrades on it. Nice looking card. I think the next one is another Shining Legends. Yep. So I've got a Jirachi. The Shining cards for me are just really nice. I'd like to try and see if I can. I don't know if I'll do it slabbed. I think I'll maybe just do like a binder set of them. Just stick them in a binder. I've got another couple of these full art trainers coming up as well. So again, strong subgrades. It's modern cards, so it's not that hard if you buy a couple of cards to just filter out what ones you want to submit and what ones you don't, which is what I've done in this case. Just bought a couple of duplicates, and then just send off the best 1 or 2, and then the rest just sell as singles. It's been working pretty well for me. You can see the grades that are coming back are strong. We're getting all of these modern ones back with 10 subgrades, so I think I'm just going to carry on with that same strategy, to be honest, going forward. So that's the last one. I'd like to keep this card, but again, I think I can probably buy a couple raw and maybe get a little bit, being totally pedantic, but I think I can get some better grades on these, hopefully. If I get the same grader that graded this pile, I'm pretty sure I can get 10s in this. The one thing with the cards from the Sun and Moon era, so I've seen a perfect 10. It was from Tag All Stars, and it was one of the trainers cards. One of the, I think it was the Reds Challenge. I can't actually remember, but it scored a perfect 10. I think that for the centering, to me this doesn't look that bad if you compare the left, the bottom and the right hand side. I actually think it's not terrible. I mean, I can see without measuring that the bottom's probably off by like a couple of millimeters. But the top border on these cards is usually a lot thinner than the other three sides. This card that I've seen, I think it's still on eBay if you're watching this round about the 15th, 16th of June. It's probably still there because he's put it up for quite a high price. But the top border's pretty much the same way. It's a lot thinner than the other three, so I'm a little bit confused as to whether they actually score the top border or not. I don't know. But anyway, let's put them to the side, and I'll get these 10s out. I'm going to keep this Pikachu in the background because it's such a nice card. I've got the other one coming back. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. I've got one of the other ones that I had sent off for grading coming back, and it got a really good grade as well. So I've just got the 2 more to pick up, and then I should have the set completed. But as I said, they're so hard to find. They're just because of how they were distributed. They were thrown in like kids' bags of clothes, so they've always got whitening or chips or folds or whatever. So yeah, they're really hard to pick up, mint. So this is one, so I had a 9.5 come back in a previous video, which, excuse me, I stuck up on my eBay. Managed to sell it really quickly, which was good, just as soon as I found out this was coming back at 10. So again, the 10 subgrades on this it got for centering, for corners and for edges, so no complaints. But this is one thing in the past, well, the 2 submissions that I've had, and some of the cards that I've looked at, scanned through from my 3rd submission, and I don't know if I can show you, wait a second until I find it, but the CGC don't really seem to be scoring print lines that harsh. So that card there has got, let me see, I know this Charizard card's got, I think 2, if I can try and find them. You can see it on the, if you put this certificate number, if you're even interested, if you put that certificate number into the CGC certificate lookup tool or whatever it's called, you'll see it's got 2 print lines. You can kind of see one in the light just here, just above my finger, and you can see it goes the whole way across the card, and then there's another one here, just above my finger. So that one's got two print lines, and it got a 9.5 for surface. So this other one, which I've seen it, I've had, I don't know how many of these I've had in my hands, maybe like 10 of these Pretend Comedian Pikachu cards, and they all have print lines. So the last one that I had a print line that ran right along this top border, and this one, if you can see it, has one that runs right from here all the way across the card. So you can see it on each border, you can see it across the background of the artwork as well. So that's obviously what's detracted for the 9.5 surface. Personally, I don't think that should be I don't know. I feel a little bit uneasy that I've got a card that's scored a 10 with CGC that's got a print line on it. That's just me. I'm obviously happy I got the 10 grade, and it's one that I'm going to keep. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel a little uneasy about it. But everything else scored perfect. Everything else got 10. So 10 for centre, 10 for corners, 10 for edges. Again, at the time, I think I had a couple of these cards, and this was the one that I thought was the best. So it's a card that I'm happy with. I'm going to keep it, stick it in the collection regardless. So these 2 cards I got, they were pretty much just like, I think they were just like left over from a lot that I had bought, and when I was looking through it, the condition on them was really good, and I thought I would just send them in. Really cheap cards, they're only like, I don't know, $10 cards or something, but I just thought when I looked at the sold prices on eBay, and I had them sitting there for basically for free, I thought it was maybe just worth sticking them in the submission just to try and get a little bit of cash just to pay back or to help pay back the submission. So I'm not going to keep any of them. The two of them are just going to, well, maybe I will keep one, I don't know. At least one of them will be going up for sale. My 6-year-old likes them, so I might get my arm twisted into keeping one, so we'll see. So the next two cards are two 10s that I got, again similar to that, the Piplup one. They're both from Dream League, from the little character rare mini set. So I'm really happy that the both of these scored so well, so these ones will definitely be staying. I just think that the artwork from these cards, particularly this card, it's like, for like a $30 card, I just think the artwork on it is ridiculous. It's so good. The other ones are nice as well, like that Mimikyu one's pretty cool. The Piplup one's really nice, but I just think the Pikachu one is hands down. I don't know, it's to me it just brings a lot of kind of nostalgic feelings just from playing the games growing up. So yeah, I like it. I'm going to stick them in the collection. I'll put the Pikachu up first just for so you can look at that in the background. And then the other two that I got, I had these two full art trainers from Super Burst Impact. Always get mixed up, SM8 and SM8 Plus, I think it is, or SM8A, sorry. So yeah, the Super Burst Impact, the two of them scored 10s. Again, this one 10 on the corners and the edges, this one 9.5 in the corners and 10 in the edges. So nice looking cards. Might keep one of these, might sell one, not quite sure. My cost is the thing, it's difficult whenever you're trying to get cards to kind of sell on and fund some bigger things in your collection, because if you get grades that you really like on cards that you kind of even half like, you don't really want to sell them. So I think I'll probably stick this one here into my collection and I'll sell that one. It's a hobby after all, it's not yeah, although I've got goals to try and kind of sell stuff to get some bigger cards, I like some of these things that I want to keep in my collection. So I can always, if I get close to these bigger cards, I can always sell them at a later date. So the first card that got a perfect 10, I'm definitely keeping both of these, is the Galarian Articuno from Matchless Fighters. So this is the alternate art. Yeah, perfect 10. It's the first one I've ever had, and yeah, just it looks so nice when you look at it. Again, this one, I don't know if this one had, yeah, you see that, I don't know if I'd mentioned it in this video or another video, but in a lot of the modern Japanese cards that I had been buying, this top left edge seems to be a bit of a raggy cut. It doesn't look like they've scored it down on this instance. You can just see the light just catching it there. But anyway, it scored a perfect 10. You know how hard CGC grade stuff, so I don't know. I would have expected them to have taken down a little bit for that top edge. You can see the two little white nicks on it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm probably going to get, I know I'll get people saying, oh, you've only had 2 submissions back with CGC. You don't have enough experience to be given any critical analysis of their grading returns, but I've had cards come back that have scored worse on edges, that I've had that same, like what I would class as 1 and then the 2 there. There's 3 nicks just on that top edge. So again, it's all, that's the thing, like I'm not going to hate too much, I'm not going to be vocal about it because it's not a massive problem. At the end of the day, the cards are they're graded by human beings, there's human error in it. What I don't mind is if there's something like that there, in my personal opinion, I'm just trying to look at it again. If I can catch it, yeah. So in my personal opinion, that just from the little tiny white nicks and from what I've seen back in other cards would be a 9.5 for Edgeware. They've scored a 10. You can't really complain when you're within like half a point of a subgrade. So I don't really have any complaints over it. The centering, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, I'm not that great at judging centering. To me, on the surface of things, it looks pretty good. But it's something that I've noticed in some of the subs that I don't know, I see a little bit of variation and stuff. You'll see it a lot more in this next video that I'm going to be making for another sub that I've got. The grades in that were baffling. And I don't just mean like being half a grade off like that. You can't really complain about being half a grade off there, in my opinion. You're close, you're within a margin of error. But there's cards in this other submission that I've got coming back that graded like 1.5. So a surface I would have expected, or a corners and edges I would have expected like a 9, and it's came back, I think one of them that scored in edges down to like a 7 or a 7.5. And there's maybe like 5 or 6 cards that's happened with that in my opinion, from looking at it and from the effort I put in at pre-grading, that I think they've graded them really, really harshly. To be honest, I'm not going to go into it too much, but from the scans, I think it looks as if there might have been a little bit of damage that's happened to some of the edges at CGC, because from looking at the pictures from when I sent it off, it never had anywhere near that amount. But again, I'm not going to go into it. All I'm just saying is that, yeah, I think this submission shows that I know how to pre-grade stuff, because I've never seen somebody have as many 10s or such a high percentage of 10s in a return. And I think that is because I pre-graded it so hard, and there are a lot of cards in this next submission that I done that were graded by me, pre-graded by me just as harsh, and they have been hammered. But yeah, I'll rant about it a little bit longer in the next video I make. I'll try and not rant in this one. So the last 10 that I got was this Shining Jirachi from Shining Legends. Again, perfect 10. So that's another card that I'm going to be keeping. We'll double check the edges just to make sure there's nothing in this. Again, it looks pretty good. I don't expect her to be anything massive. Yeah. So yeah, as I said, that's really, really pleased with the quantity of high graded cards that I got back. Even just to send off 30 cards and only getting like 4 or 5 9 grades, to me is just a nice achievement in itself. It certainly helps for when you're trying to sell cards. So yeah, really, really happy. It shows that what I'm doing, I'm on the right track for things. I think what I might start trying to do is before I send stuff, I'm going to write down what I would pre-grade cards for all 4 of the subgrades, and see how close I get to it. But as I said, most of these cards I was just expecting a 9 or above, just because I know how harsh CGC can grade stuff. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. The next video that I've got coming back, hopefully later in the week, is it's got some nice cards in it. It's got like the championship arena, some victory medals, some other prize cards. So yeah, if you want to see that, hit the subscribe button and you should get a notification when it comes through, and you can hear me rant about the grades in that one, because there's quite a few that I'm not happy with, that I'm definitely going to be cracking and submitting to PSA, probably maybe on the $300 tier. Maybe I'll just wait until their $150 tier opens back up, whether that's in 2 weeks time on the 1st of July, or whether it's a little bit longer. But anyway, thanks for watching if you made it this far. We'll speak to you all next time. Cheers.